Alright, I'm just doing a video here today to sort of bring to the public's attention some interesting ideas about automobile industry logos, symbols, and what the meaning of these symbols are. It's been said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, so there's going to be a few words here for each picture. Why is it that the automobile industry overwhelmingly seems to point towards the solar system, the stars, and the zodiac? It seems odd that corporations producing cars would be interested in the solar system. So I just want you guys to ponder that question. We'll start with Scion here, which is owned by Toyota. Scion is actually referring to Zion, or Mount Zion, which in the zodiac is in your head. It's in the realm of Aries, which is always associated with the head or higher mind. The symbol here is actually a circle with a cross, much like the medicine wheel. And you'll see this throughout almost all these automobile symbols. They're all a little different, but they all are kind of pointing towards the same thing. So this would be the winter solstice, the summer solstice, and the two equinoxes making a cross, a holy cross, and also referring to Mount Zion in the head of Aries. We'll move on. Subaru. Most people don't realize that Subaru is 7 stars, and it refers to the Pleiades. And I'll just refer to my phone to show you that. What does the symbol of Subaru mean?
According to Stanley Subaru, Subaru was the Japanese name for the Pleiades star cluster, which in turn inspires the Subaru logo and alludes to the 6 companies that merged to create FHI.
So there you have it. Subaru is referring to the Pleiades, which is a star cluster, which is also found in the head of the zodiac. And then it says these 6 companies merged together to create a company called FHI. Well, if you spell FHI out, it spells Phi. Phi is the holy number that's exhibited throughout nature, 1.618. It's a ratio, and it's probably the most common building block in nature, or in the universe. So that's interesting. Moving on, we'll go to Lincoln. Lincoln is also showing the Holy Cross here, or the sun's elliptical is what they call that through the zodiac. It would be, again, the summer solstice, winter solstice, and the 2 equinoxes right in the middle there. And if you look up Lincoln and look at the origins of their company when they started it, it refers to a particular star that they called the Continental Star. I believe it's the Northern Star, or one of the northern pole stars, but anyway, they called it the Continental. So again, we're showing signs of the solar system. Next, Toyota. Well, this is the same thing. This is the sun's elliptical in the form of a cross. However, they moved these 2 orbits. They moved it a little different so that the upper orbit is making the shape of a T for Toyota. But you can still see those are 2 sun's ellipticals that make a cross. And then, what do we have here? Oh, Nissan. This one's interesting. This is actually the Earth, and Nissan is written right across the equator. But this is actually in reference to the sun's elliptical on the Earth. And over to the left-hand side, where the first N is placed, would be March 21st, which would be the spring equinox. And ironically, or not ironically, in Hebrew, the word Nissan, or as they pronounce it, Nisan, refers to spring, the month of first fruits. It also refers to Aries in the head, because in the zodiac, the month of March and part of April is where the lamb or the ram is, and that is Aries. So this one's blatant. They're just telling you this is Aries. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Probably can't. It's just on my phone. So I'm just going to read it to you real quick. Just referring again to the month. The month of Nissan. And this is about Hebrew. And I don't know how to pronounce these words, so forgive me. The Sefer Yetzirah among other texts, reveals a constellation of unique energies, themes, and spiritual practices for each month of the year. We will build on these teachings in order to discover some of the deeper meanings of the month of Nisan, or Nissan, it and its special days, in particular the holiday of Passover. This will help us unleash the redemptive powers of these most auspicious times. So again, then we got Mercury. Mercury is referring to this winged god. I'm not sure if it's Nike or if it's referring to the caduceus, which is the symbol of Mercury. Oh, there you go. It's Mercury, the caduceus. So these wings are the same symbol that you find on the symbol for medicine, which is a rod or a staff with two serpents or snakes winding up it, and at the top of this you'll find two wings. And this is referring to caduceus or Mercury. And we see it all over the place in the medical field. You see it on thermometers, you see it all over the place. So again, they're referring to Mercury, the planets of the solar system. Ram. Most people don't think that Ram has anything to do with anything, but Ram is Dodge, and Dodge is referring to Aries, which is the ram. Again, so you have the symbol of the higher brain. Ram, Aries is in the head when it comes to the zodiac. And if you look closely at this one, you can see one of Dodge's early symbols, which is got the Star of David. Some people would call it that, a Jewish symbol, but it's much older than that. It's an Egyptian symbol. Some people say it's even older than that. But it's two tetrahedrons, one masculine and one feminine, making so two triangles making a star. And this again is also referring to the path of the sun, because it is that star. But you can see that the shield in the middle is fairly round, and it has wings on it. And this winged disc is what you'll see in a lot of car manufacturers as well. So the winged disc is actually referring to the Milky Way galaxy and our solar system within it. And I know that sounds strange, but the wings of the sun are referring to the winged serpent, or the feathered serpent. And the serpent is a snake. However, it's really referring to our Milky Way galaxy as a serpent. And if you start to study the Mayans, you'll see that the Mayans talked about the winged serpent a lot, which is also on the Mexican flag. If you look at the Mexican flag, it's an eagle eating a snake, and so that is this feathered serpent right there. Again, car manufacturer referring to the solar system. Lexus. This one's not really so much of a symbol, but the word Lexus is actually where we get the word luxurious, lex, lux, luce. It all means light. So Lexus is basically telling you they're referring to solar light. There you go, right there. And then there's Bentley, another winged disc. So the winged disc goes all the way back to at least Sumeria. Again, it's the sun in the middle with wings on it. And you'll see this throughout Egypt and Sumeria. So the winged disc refers to the feathered serpent. Again, there's Chevrolet, one of their older symbols, which is another winged disc, the sun in the middle with wings on it. And the chevron is actually just a cross. You can see that straight up. It's just a cross right in the middle. So you got your summer solstices, winter solstice, and your spring and fall equinox right there. This is Chrysler. I don't know if you can see that. Chrysler, again, it's a winged disc, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little circle in the middle and two wings. Then you have Hyundai Genesis, same thing. We've got the sun in the middle and the wings, the winged disc. Aston Martin, same thing. Wings, and but this is pretty obvious. Aston is where we get the root word for star. So like astrotheology. Aston is basically just saying star, and Martin is where we get the word for the root word for Mars. So this is the star of Mars. And these guys, this is just a group of them, and if you look closer, not all car companies exhibit this, but an overwhelming amount. And so it's just, I just don't think it's coincidence. So I just wanted to bring that up to you guys and let you guys try to figure out if it's coincidence or not. There's one of the early Mercedes symbols. Again, it's a winged disc. Mercedes is actually refers to the name of a constellation called Mercedes, which is feminine, and refers to Mary, or the sacred feminine. And it's 3 stars that make a triangle. It's a constellation. There's Mini, and again Bentley. Both have winged discs. Again, the disc is the sun, and the feathered serpent. BMW, again, it's a cross showing the summer solstices and winter solstices. Volvo, this one is actually the same symbol that you would see for masculine, like the symbol for male. I know everybody's probably seen the symbol for female, which is similar, it just has a little cross on it. This is the symbol for male or masculine, and it's also in the zodiac. It's a symbol for Mars, and Mars is warrior energy and warlike energy and very martial energy, so it's totally masculine. This is Mazda. This is one of Mazda's symbols, and it's actually a little bit abstract, but it's referring to Aries as well, because if you look at the symbol for Aries in the zodiac, it looks exactly like this. It's just the horns of a ram. And this would be Maserati. Maserati is the Triton, which is directly in reference to the god Neptune. And Neptune is a planet. So planets, again, we're referring to the solar system. And Jeep, well, it's just a star. It happens to be a hexagon, but it is just straight up telling you we're talking about a star. Alfa Romeo, again, Alpha is sort of this the beginning, the letter A, Alpha, and Romeo is referring to Rome. So it's basically saying that Rome is the best. Rome is number one. Rome dominates. And you can see right in there the cross, which most people would say is the cross of Christianity, but it's really the cross of the summer solstices, and the sun's elliptical as we revolve around the sun. And then you can see the serpent there as well. So these two symbols, again, you'll find them embedded in these automobile manufacturers. And there you have it. So I'm just bringing this up because I'd like people to think about it. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but when you dig deep, you start to see the coincidences in these companies. And if you follow the money, it gets really interesting. Families of what some people consider royalty. For example, if you follow the Federal Reserve here, I know this is kind of a bad picture, but you can follow the people who own the Federal Reserve and the 12 banks that actually are funded through the Federal Reserve. There is, I'm not going to really name too many names here, but Lehman Brothers, J.P. Morgan, Rothschild being at the very top, the Rothschild family, Baker. There's been a few presidents of the United States in here, royalty of England, Rome, and other parts of Europe. And if you follow this trail of money, you can find, actually, you're welcome to pause this video and look at these, but you can find that these people are some of the wealthiest people on the planet. And as we go all the way down, you'll find also that they also fund and own most of the petroleum and oil companies in the world as well. So they are solar cults. And if you keep following the money, you'll find that this particular organization, the Vatican, is where a lot of it goes to, most of it. And this is the origin of the solar cult of Mithraeus and Dionysus from pre-Christian times. So this organization is still worshiping the sun, and in my opinion, not really worshiping what is said in the Bible or worshiping Christ. But it's interesting to note that all these people that fund these banks, the Federal Reserve, and the flow of money around the world function outside of the normal rules or laws of government. So, for example, Vatican City is its own nation. I think it's the smallest nation in Europe, and so it makes its own rules. So it's not subject to the laws of the country of Italy. And as well as London, there's a few square miles in downtown London that is its own nation as well. You can look that up on the web. And they don't function within the laws or rules of England. And then moving westward to the United States, the District Columbia is also its own nation. And all three of these nations are actually registered corporations as well. So the money for the District of Columbia is owned by these people.